When you trade sex for cash or favors, you're a prostitute. Because that's the definition of prostitution. It's when you trade sex for cash or favors. The question is, can a child really just wake up and dream about the fact that they want to become a prostitute? Just like people say, I want to become a flight attendant. I want to become a medical doctor. I want to become a journalist. Can somebody dream about prostitution as a life dream? Hi, my name is Rafa Gottloff. Welcome to the School of Life. It's a program where I try to teach life lessons in a way that is easy to be understood and digested. The intention is for me to help you now get information, because knowledge is power, and to help you become a better person and also make very informed decisions in life. On today's edition, I talk about prostitution. I show you some facts about prostitution and I tell you the way forward. The first thing you need to know about prostitution is that it's a choice of the choiceless. Now, prostitutes, they're everywhere. And prostitution is illegal in Cameroon, but you go to business groups, even on Facebook and things like that, people are soliciting for sex and trading sex. It's a kind of like black market situation, or there are particular street corners where you know that prostitution happens and things like that, but it's not really done openly. So it's a kind of tricky situation. So it exists in our societies and we know about it, but we don't talk about it. So the first thing you need to know about prostitution is that it's a choice of the choiceless. Okay, prostitutes smile, prostitutes act nice, and they talk with a lot of confidence and boldness. But if you dig deep into their lives, you discover that they entered into prostitution due to they entered with coming from a place of brokenness. They entered from poverty. They entered from dysfunctional homes. Some of them entered having been sexually abused, having been abandoned, a lot of abandonment issues, no parental guidance, nobody to really like help them navigate through life. So they entered from a place of brokenness. They entered because they had no other option. They felt they had no other option. That's why they entered, out of frustration. It's a terrible thing when somebody has lost so much until they feel that the only thing in their life that they have to lose is the breath of life that they have. It's a dangerous thing to be around that kind of person, because they don't have nothing more to gain or lose. Okay, they don't care about life. And so for these kind of people, you need to give them hope, for them to begin to now start valuing their life and trying to see different opportunities that can present itself to them. It's very, very important. So that's the first thing you need to know about prostitutes and prostitution in general, that it's a line of work. It's a kind of lifestyle that the people who get into it, they might smile in your face, but most often they enter into it from a place of brokenness in their own lives. Okay. The next thing you need to understand about prostitution is that it's illegal in most countries, illegal in Cameroon, and punishable by law. But it's something that still happens, and so it's something that people don't really talk about, but people know about, and there are brothels and just motels and just street corners, even online. You go to business groups now, it's just full of prostitutes, everybody soliciting and trading sex and things like that. You know, trading sex for cash or favors. That's a prostitute. Okay? That's the definition of prostitution. Check your dictionary. And so you might say, well, I just slept around to get a job. You traded sex for cash or favors. Okay? You're a prostitute, just another kind of prostitute. The kind that doesn't stay on the street corner. Okay? So let's make definitions clear. The third thing you need to know about prostitution, apart from the fact that people get into it because they lack other choices and that it's illegal, though it's still done. The third thing you need to know is that prostitution is a tricky engagement, in that both the client and the prostitute come from a place of brokenness and deception. What do you mean? I'm going to explain. A man who goes to pay a woman to have sex with her is buying sex and buying submission and buying the fact that this woman wants to pleasure him. It's a false satisfaction, because In the girl's mind, she in her normal senses, most of the prostitutes in their normal senses will not have sexual intercourse with some kind of men. Okay? They would not. These are girls like every other girl that have their preferences. I like tall guys, I like fair guys, I like these kind of guys, But a prostitute does not have sex with you because you're cute. A prostitute does not have sex with you because you're clean. A prostitute has sex with you because you have the money to pay her. So it's a kind of false satisfaction where you feel that you're gaining satisfaction and that you're gaining affection from a woman, but it's all for the money and you know it's for the money. This is risky. This false satisfaction is risky because it destroys self-esteem. It destroys self-esteem. And over time, the girl's self-esteem is being ruined because now she's being used as a sex object, just sleeping around anything just for money. And you, the guy, you feel like, sex is supposed to be intimate and satisfying. That's why it's always good to have sexual relationships between people that are married and people that are in relationships and things like that. But you're just having sex with random people and it's a false intimacy, okay? So it destroys self-esteem on both the client and even the person who is the prostitute. So it's a very complicated situation. The fourth and last thing you need to know about prostitutes is that they are full of infections. They are full of infections and it doesn't show on the body because you don't write it on people's forehead that they have infections. Okay, and generally infections take up to about 3 months to show up symptoms in a woman. But for a man, like you get a sexually transmissible infection, it's going to show up in at most 3 days. So prostitutes are full of infections. They cannot even count their sexual partners. You ask them, how many people have you had sexual intercourse with? And they really don't know. So all of these, and we know from school and from just common sense that the more the sexual partners, the more risk for you to pick up sexually transmissible infections. So prostitution is not a safe place because people get into it for the wrong reasons. It's a false kind of satisfaction. There's a lot of infections, and of course it's an illegal activity as far as Cameroon is concerned and as far as many other countries are concerned. It's just illegal. It's not allowed. The question now is, we know that it's not allowed. We know that sometimes people get pushed to the wall and life beats you so bad that you feel like you don't have a choice. But what is the way forward? If I'm a prostitute, how do I come out from prostitution? I'm going to tell you. So if you're a prostitute, if you're into prostitution of whatever kind, because there are people who work in offices and yet are still prostitutes, they still sleep around for money, they still sleep. If you're used to this lifestyle, how do you come out? The first thing is that you need to deal with the pain and the trauma in your life. If you're doing all of this because you feel that you're not loved and so what do I have to gain? I'm just a sex object. At least I can use my body to make money and all of that. You need to deal with the trauma in your life. Why am I feeling hurt? Is it because I was sexually molested and abused while I was a child? Is it because I grew up in a dysfunctional family and I've been abandoned? Is it because I feel that nobody loves me? I actually love you. I love you so bad, I'm sitting down and I'm trying to talk with you. Okay? I love you. And sometimes love needs to be tough. You need to sit down and find out for yourself, what is this pain I'm going through? It's a work that only you can do. I cannot do it for you. You need to sit down and say, but what is this I'm doing in my life? What is the trauma that I'm going through? Why do I always feel like I need a man? Sometimes prostitutes don't even sleep around because they love sex so much. Sometimes they just love the company and just the fact that somebody needs you in their life. Just this emotional need. You need to feel loved. Okay? You have to tell yourself, listen, I didn't grow up with love, but I will not allow myself now to be pushed into the wrong things just because I want to feel that I'm loved. That's a step. You need to start learning about the trauma and the things that have been happening in your life, and you start figuring out. There are some women who push their children out into prostitution. You see a child goes out and comes back with roasted fish and roasted pork and roasted whatever, and you eat. You don't care to ask where it came from. You don't care. You say you're big. You tell a girl child of about 18 years old, you're big enough to care for yourself. You're a big girl. When I was your age, I was already married and things like that. You're pushing her into the hands of men. Okay? We do that to our children, our girl children. Some parents, some women do that. Some men abandon their family, and you know how girls need a lot of things to live their lives. Girls need pads, they need a lot of attention and care for them to navigate life properly. You abandon children and you expect them to grow how? If you grew up abandoned, if you grew up parents pushing you into the hands of men, if you grew up feeling not loved and you grew up, listen, it's not enough reason for you to allow yourself now to be used and abused, for you to allow yourself now to lose all respect for yourself to the extent now where you're just trading your body with anything. You're valuable. You're valuable. You're valuable, and you can find out all of these traumatizing things in your life and say, okay, it's okay that I've not been loved, but I'm going to give myself love. Okay? By disassociating myself from all of these kind of activities and trying to make better out of my life. That's the first step, that you need to really find out what is pushing you, what is the emotional factor that is really pushing you towards the wrong direction. Because sometimes we look for love in all of the wrong places, and what we find are just masks that hide deceitful faces. Looking for love. I just need to be loved. I just need to be loved. I just need to know. You stay in abusive relationships. I just need to be loved. You stay in prostitution. I just need to be loved. You do anything just for the love. And sometimes people tell you that they love you even when they're just joking, and you take it seriously. Because for a hungry person, every kind of food tastes sweet. A hungry man does not know if food does not taste sweet because they're hungry. And it's the same thing with you. You're just hungry and desperate for love to the extent where you're willing to trade your body and do anything at all just to feel needed, valued, and loved. You need to come to this place where you deal with the traumas and the pain in your life and tell yourself that I am self-sufficient. I'm enough for myself. If nobody loves me, I love myself enough to pull myself out of all of this bullshit, to pull myself out of all of this rottenness and nonsense that I'm living my life in. It's important that you deal with the traumas and the pains in your own life. It's a job Rafa cannot do for you. I can only tell you about it and guide you towards it, but you're going to do it for yourself. If you need to cry, cry. If you need time alone, take time alone. If you need to write down things and forgive people, forgive them and move on with your life. The next thing is that you need to develop your skills and talents, and this is there to help you become financially independent. Learn how to plait hair. Learn how to sew clothes. Okay? Learn a trade. Be willing to learn something new. Try, start all over again. Learn how to do something. Learn how to do catering. Learn how to do decoration. There's always some craft, some artistic something that you can do. You can put your talents and your skills into use. It's going to be helpful. You need to look for something that can be lucrative. It might not give you the fast money that you used to get with prostitution, but it might be enough just to sustain you while you think of other things to do and you put your foot on the ground. Get an income generating activity. Work for somebody. Do something. There are lots of people looking for house helps and things like that. Do something with your life instead of living in prostitution. Okay? The third and last thing I want to talk about on how to fix a situation if you're in prostitution or if you find yourself in similar kind of situation is that you need to go for medical checkups. Lots of medical checkups. You need to go for medical checkups like after 3 months and after 3 months and after 3 months to really verify if there are any residues of infections, to verify if because most prostitutes, like most people out there, they treat sexually transmitted infections using roadside drugs, and that's not the right protocol. Okay? To treat sexually transmissible infections, you're supposed to first of all treat it through your blood using injectables. And so the drugs have to be injected into you, and then tablets are only there to wash things out. So it's important to go for a medical checkup and get blood tested and things like that. And you find out if you have an infection. It might be HIV, it might be hepatitis, it might be whatever. But you can start treating it earlier on and start managing it if it's something that cannot be treated. You can manage it earlier on, and then you stay away from all of those disorderly sexual activity. That way, you now prevent reinfection. Because somebody might say, well, I'm already infected. What do I stand to gain or lose? You stand to gain or lose a lot. If you're reinfected, your situation becomes worse and worse and worse and worse, and your chances for life and the death threat over your life becomes even more. So I think that these are my few suggestions. It's not going to be an easy task. It's not like, Rafa, you don't know what I'm going through. Well, I think I kind of do. It's not a job that you're going to do overnight, but you're going to first take the step and start deleting the phone numbers and start dissociating yourself and start hanging around people that can help you construct your life. If you need a friend, if you need an encouraging word in your ear every now and then, my WhatsApp numbers, I'm telling you, my direct lines are on all of my social media handles. You can reach me out like, I'm telling you the truth, you can literally pick up your phone and reach out to me like right now. It's possible. I'm called Rafa across all social media handles, and you meet my phone numbers and my contacts everywhere you go. On YouTube, I'm Rafa 237. That's Rafa 237, all in caps. On Instagram, I'm Rafa _ 237. I hope that you've learned something. For those who see prostitutes as just some nasty people and they're people's children. Some of them are very educated. Some of them have had dreams and things too that they wanted to do in their life. So all hope is not lost. We should learn how to give people a second chance, and we should learn how to love people, because at the end of the day, you might be criticizing someone for being a prostitute, but your father is paying to sleep with prostitutes, and so he's promoting the business. So who are you judging? You know how they say you point one finger at somebody and four more are just pointing back at you. So we should live in a society where we can accept people, and not accepting them so that they continue in prostitution or continue in their illegal activities and in their disorderly sexual conduct, but we should accept them in a way that we can give them love and show them a better way to do things or a different way to do things. That's the intention. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm bringing up all of these conversations. I hope that you've learned something and that you learn how to treat prostitutes a little differently if you come across one anytime in your life, and just show them love, because people change faster if they know that your intentions for them are good. When you don't come with this judgmental attitude and you're just nasty. So I think that we need to allow people have a safe environment where they can talk about their issues, where they can get the help that they need. My name is Rafa Godlove. I wish you a beautiful life as you move on from here, trying to fix those broken parts of your life and do the hard work of mending broken pieces and of starting all over again. I pray that you find strength, and I pray that it works well for you. And I really pray that you find this inner strength to fight, because life has more for you, I think. And your life is valuable, and you make use of your life someday. And I pray that someday we meet somewhere random and you share just a testimony with me. I'll be very, very grateful to see anybody who listens to this and then their life turned around and then they stop living in disorderly sexual conduct. All right, all of that said, I'll see you some other time. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.